Hey everyone, Glenn Sanford here, founder of eXp Realty, and also your host to the Expansion Podcast, a podcast where we talk about personal and professional development here at eXp Realty. And today, it's an honor to have on with me Rod Obee. Rod's been with eXp for quite a number of
10,
years. Yeah,
10
in
years.
fact, 10 years, which is
Yes,
quite
sir.
incredible. We're 13 and a half years in, early on helping us grow the DC metro area, and it's been a rocket ride. So welcome, Rod.
Oh, it's definitely an honor to be here with you, Glenn. Man, the honor is all mine. I just really appreciate all that you do, all the leadership team, what you guys have done and what you've built over these past 13 years with eXp Realty. That's definitely been life-changing for me. So I'm excited to be here today, Glenn.
Awesome. Now, do you know what your agent number is?
Agent 118.
118. Wow. Okay.
118. Woohoo!
Only 87,000 agents ago.
Absolutely, Glenn. I'm officially an OG. I'm an OG
Uh,
here at eXp Realty.
There you go. Well, it's been great getting to, see you from time to time around the country. You're always such a positive human being. You always come from a place of service and contribution, and and you've been in the business now, I think about 17 years. I think.
17 years. Back in '06, got my license. Yes, sir.
Okay. And that was that,
Yes.
did you get your license? Like, was that your first, like you were in the Marine Corps, you used to, I think, serve, do some work for Air Force One, if I'm not mistaken. So there's some pretty,
Absolutely. Yes, Glenn. So came out of, born and raised in Shreveport, Louisiana, and went into the Marine Corps right out of high school and had a great time in the Marine Corps. I think that's where I really found myself because I struggled in high school. I was a party animal, loved to hang out, and just by the grace of God that I graduated and but found myself in the Marine Corps and had a stellar career. Worked as an embassy Marine. Started out initially in the beginning part of my career as an embassy guard. One of the toughest schools in the Marine Corps, one of the toughest assignments, protecting the ambassador and the Americans abroad in over 141 countries at the American Embassy. Came off of that assignment and was assigned to the Pentagon. And then I got a call one day saying, the Marine Corps wanted to select one person to go to interview for a position at the White House. Each branch of the service sent one individual, and Marine Corps sent me. And long story short, I got the job, Glenn, and worked at the White House during the Clinton administration with airlift operations. We're scheduling the flights on Air Force One, and I took care of the visas to get into the country for all the military personnel, like the doctor and the military aides and all those folks around the president. And man, I had a great time at the White House. And shortly after that, that was in my last stop of about 11 years in the Marine Corps. Then I stepped out and I had that entrepreneur bug and stepped out there and started doing real estate. Yes,
okay.
sir.
So real estate was your first gig out of the Marine Corps then?
It was actually I was coming out initially. I was with a financial services company. It's funny. It was the same company that Ed Milet was in. We were business partners. I don't think you knew me, but we were business partners in a financial services company. So I had that entrepreneur bug, and my wife and I we purchased we had a townhouse that I sold myself, Glenn. We did it for sale by owner. The market was booming. This was around '05 or so. And I did such an amazing job staging that house, getting it sold because things were flying off the market then. Everybody was doing for sale by owner. The bubble was about to burst in just a few years. So I was able to get that home sold and also helped us buy a home that was also for sale by owner because that's the time, that was what was going on during that time. And man, we said maybe I should get my license. Maybe I should try to do this professionally since I did such a great
Okay.
job of getting our home sold and finding one. So, yes, sir.
Now what's your kind of like your superpower in real estate? What do you attribute your success? You're a four-time ICON agent, so
Yes, sir.
congratulations.
Yes.
You've got
Thank
a good sized red share group, and so a little passive income coming in there.
you.
But what ultimately do you think I have an idea,
Yeah.
but I'd love to hear what your thoughts on what is it that helped you be the super successful or as successful as you have been.
Absolutely, Glenn. Most of my business come from my sphere of influence. Those know, like, and trust relationships. Those people around me. Those church members. Those folks that I've served within the military. I think my superpower is really connecting with people. I'm a people's man. God has given me a gift to really, I guess, accelerate the connection, being able to like really influence people, work with them, just be able to make that connection with people. One of the early books that I read by Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People, that really read that book probably about 25 years ago, and it really shaped me. I always was good with people and connecting with people, making people feel comfortable with me. But when I read that book, there, I really embraced a lot of the tenets and the information that was in it, and I just kind of leveraged that, and I just connect well with people, and I make them, allow them to trust me and, work with me and send me their referrals. I just love on people. So,
Awesome, awesome. So
yes, sir.
so then you do know the most important word in the English language, then.
Oh, tell me,
Well,
Glenn. Yeah,
Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People.
yeah.
What's the most important word?
Oh, their name.
There you go. There you go. Yeah,
Their
exactly.
name. People love to hear their name. Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. I put you on the spot.
You
I,
come on.
I
Yeah,
was going to throw in
absolutely.
there, hey,
Yeah,
Rod,
that's amazing book.
Rod.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
no, that was such an amazing book. I read it a bunch of times when I was younger, and then read a number of other books that sort of just reinforce the principles, but the basics of the axioms of how to win friends and influence people, super key.
Yes, sir.
So like so what you've got you and your wife founded the dream team,
Yes,
tribe of
sir.
agents who sold over $141 million in volume. What advice do you have for agents who are looking to build out a successful team?
Yes, sir. Glad I would say be a servant leader. One of my wife and I, we had a vision of really utilizing our revenue share and building a team. We're a self-organized team. So we wanted to create an environment, a community within EXP, a community of those folks that we attract to EXP, and really provide the community, the support, the training, kind of on a local level. We could reach out and touch them and call, and have a support system that was set up for them. So it's so important for the leader, someone who is thinking about a team, to really be able to be that servant leader, but also to show up every day. We've been doing this, running the dream team, about 7 years without fail. We're meeting 3 4 times a week, 8 a.m. Eastern time every single week without fail, providing that support, so providing training, coaching, mentoring, that help, that support that agents need. Because I remember getting started. I was at one of the big companies, the Red Company. That was my first company, and I struggled. Glenn, it took me about a year and a half to do my first transaction. And even then, almost 6 7 years in the business, it still didn't happen. The magic really didn't happen until I came over to EXP in 2013, getting licensed in 2006. That year before coming to EXP, I only sold 4 transactions. I made $25,000. But the first year here at EXP, I doubled that, made about 50,000, and this is with a full-time job. Second year, about 75,000. Third year, I was doing over 5 million in sales with a full-time job at EXP. So we wanted to create I remembered how I struggled in the beginning. I didn't have that person to reach out and mentor me. I love the EXP mentorship program. It is amazing. And we have some great mentors on our team as well, who are now giving back. But being that servant leader, being an agent that's really caring for your team, that can really shape their mindset, give them the encouragement that they need. Because we're in some, trying times right now. It's a very interesting market, but they need to have a leader that's going to really motivate them and show them that, hey, you can still be successful in this market, really any market. I tell folks, I sell you houses year round. It doesn't matter what market. in 2020, so many of us had our best year ever because, I had to step up and be the leader to encourage them and shape their mindset that regardless of, it's a pandemic, regardless of this market right now, we can't read the press. We have to create and control the narrative that, hey, people are still buying and selling homes. So really being the leader, but caring about people, and encouraging them, then shaping their mindset that this still could be their best year ever in real estate.
Right. So, you've built a great practice. Obviously, started struggled in the early stages, but now it seems like you've got a lot of momentum. It's been working for you. What has been like maybe your um, lead gen strategy? What do you how do you lead generate, and then
Mhm.
how do you then support those um, potential clients or clients, depending on how you think about them? How do you support them through the journey?
Yes, my lead gen is most of my business primarily comes from those relationships that I have. I'm the relationship guy, the sphere of influence, past clients, those know, like, and trust relationships, and I tend to get a lot of referrals from them. However, I do prospect, and whenever I have my business card, I call those my mini billboards. Everywhere I go, with anybody within 3 foot of me, they know that Rod Obee sells homes. Even in my social media, folks know that I sell real estate because I'm consistent with it. But primarily it is my sphere of influence. Those phones, I teach my team, hey, you got $1 million right in your cell phone. Icon is right in your cell phone, of those relationships that you have. So primarily, it's staying in touch with those folks, utilizing systems like KV Core to send them, homes, and utilizing Outright MLS as well. Being Staying in touch with folks. As far as a CRM, a KV Core, but Glenn, I'm telling you, I have to be honest today. I'm still driving this Ferrari in first gear. I'm underutilizing KV Core. But what I do utilize, and I guess I'm probably old school, I like the old school Excel. I like a spreadsheet. I like to be able to track from month to month that I've gave that person a call, or I text them, sent them a video. In January, I may be saying Happy New Year to them. February, I'm loving on them for Valentine's Day. Springtime, I'm telling them to set their clocks up. May, Memorial Day, I have a lot of military clientele as well. July. So throughout the year, I'm touching my folks. I'm touching them, saying hello to you. How you doing? How's the house? Sending them home values. So that's pretty much how I stay in touch with my folks. Kind of the old school method of calling, texting, and some
Awesome.
automation as well. Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. One thing I've been doing more of. I'm not doing it a lot, but of course I'm in a different role today. But I got exposed probably maybe a year ago to a gentleman named Pete Vargas, and even prior to that, he and I knew each other. But he'd send me lots of videos via text messaging,
Yes.
and so he just recorded on video and sent it to me, and I always watched them, and they were personal to me, but it was just
Mhm.
an interesting way to engage. And do you do any video in
Absolutely.
that way?
Yes, yes, sir. I love those. I use lots of bomb, or I just record it right on my phone and just text it over to them. So yeah, I do a lot of those, especially with the happy birthdays, the anniversaries, Christmas time, Thanksgiving. I just sit there shooting videos, and just quick little video. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Just wanted to say hello real quick, and it makes a world of difference. Just staying top of mind with those folks.
Now, you obviously mentioned Dale Carnegie. Who's some of your other favorite authors? What's been some of your other more formative um,
Yeah.
books?
Of course, the Think and Grow Rich. Oh man, I got so many right behind me here, Glenn. Think and Grow Rich is definitely one of my all time greats. Even the book on prospect, where it's prospect. Gosh, I can't think of the name of it. There's so many of them, but I really like the books on mindset, Glenn. But I think mindset is everything. That's why I like Think and Grow Rich, be able to write the goals, speak it and declaring it, the affirmations. Mindset is everything. Because I tell my agents, I can train you, I can teach you everything. You don't want to be the smart agent. At some point, you got to take action. You got to take action. You got to believe that you can do it. So, I tend to lean a lot more those books that are about taking action and also having the right mindset of a champion, of a warrior, that you can actually be successful in this business if you put your mind to it.
Awesome, awesome. Well,
Yes, sir.
good stuff there. So, um, if you had, one piece of advice that you could give to an EXP agent, what would that be?
Man, I would say go to work. You know, treat treat the bit. I know we hear a lot in the business. You got to treat the business like a business. But some of us, we need to treat it like it's our job. A lot of us, a lot of agents I see, they worked harder when they had their 9 to 5. They set the alarm clock, they got up early, had to get dressed, drove into work, and had to be on time to punch in. But and they put in a full 8 hours of work. But a lot of times we get comfortable as entrepreneurs, and we get in vacation mode, we get in relaxed mode. If your name's not Glenn Sanford, then you need to be prospecting and lead generating every single day. So I would say go to work, treat the business like it's your job, like it's like your family is counting on you. Put in a good 8 hours, solid 8 hours work for an honest pay. So go to work, hard work pay, hard work
Uh,
works.
Well, what I've learned about myself personally, and obviously I've figured it out, but it took a while, which is when you don't have a quote unquote boss, it's sometimes hard to stay motivated because there's always people
Yeah.
that have, um, uh, they want you to do something for them.
Mhm.
And so if you do, like, one of my favorite authors is Stephen Covey,
Yeah.
and the 7 habits of highly effective people. And, so how do you actually start to become a quadrant 2 individual? There's quadrant 1 is urgent and important, and there'll always be urgent and important stuff going on in your life. Quadrant 2 is, not urgent but important. And then you've got quadrant 3, which is, uh, uh, it's urgent but not important. And then you got
Mhm.
quadrant 4, which is not urgent, not important. Um,
Yes, sir.
so but we get pulled into quadrant 1 and quadrant 3 quite often. And quadrant 1 is fine because it's urgent and important. But
Mm,
quadrant 3 is urgent but not important because it's quote unquote important to somebody else. And and
right.
so and so we have to figure out how to do less quadrant 3 activities and more quadrant 2 activities. Quadrant 1 will take care of itself, but the more we can focus there, and that's where I think, most of us, when we were coming up through a more structured job type environment, we got pushed to actually do more quadrant 2 activities.
Yes, sir.
And so for individuals that are now self-employed, how do you focus on the prospecting? Okay, it's not urgent, but it's important. How do you
Right.
focus on building out your marketing plan? Well, it's not urgent, but it's important. And
Yes, sir.
and so how do you focus more time there, and how do you time block? And so for me, time blocking is a big part of it, figuring out what is it that I haven't been prioritizing that I need to prioritize, and
Right.
let's put a spot on the calendar, and actually, then, the calendar becomes my boss.
That's right. Yes, sir. That's
Well,
good.
good stuff. So, Rod, you know, congratulations. Thank you for your service. Actually, I didn't say that yet, but thank you for what you did. Obviously, jumping into the Marine Corps and putting your life in harm's way in probably multiple areas, over the years that you were doing that. And thanks for sharing. One of the things,
Yes, sir.
when I was talking about your superpower earlier, I think when I said, I think I know what your superpower is. And the superpower, at least every time I've ever seen you, is your positivity, your positive outlook on life. It's infectious. People will want to be around that. And it's more rare than a lot of times we recognize. And so
Mm,
when you see it, you're attracted to it. And I know that that's an extremely, um, strong superpower. Probably comes some from your faith, from your upbringing, from your time in the Marine Corps. from the people that you spend time with. But
Yes.
in my opinion, that's your superpower. So
Love it. Absolutely. I agree.
awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks
Thank
again,
you.
Rod. And for those of you who want to maybe track down Rod, you can certainly find him on the web at the Obee team, OBEE team.com, and obviously on Workplace and you mentioned social, so follow him on social. So
That's it. Yes, sir.
good stuff. Okay, thanks, Rod.
Good. Thanks, Glenn. Appreciate it.